delete your old emails and photos to save water. Now, instead of just nationalising the water companies, the government is giving us this insane advice instead. I had to talk about this one, I absolutely had to. It's bonkers. So we're having a drought as widely predicted for several months due to one of the driest years since 1976 and one of I think the third warmest year since 1886 as well, which is great news for us. Climate, it keeps happening. Someone should do something about this. And the reason this drought was so predictable a long way off is not only is the climate crisis literally baking this country, but also, since privatization, our water companies have built no new reservoirs. What they've done instead is take over £85 billion in dividends and shareholder payouts. That's why they didn't invest in building reservoirs, even though our population has increased. It's why they also didn't invest in fixing leaks. We leak over 1 trillion litres of water each year from our pipes. 1 trillion litres of water each year. That's a much higher leak rate than comparable systems in, for example, Germany. And of course, having paid for those tens of billions in shareholder payouts through our bills, we're now being forced to pay much higher bills in order to pay for continued dividends, but also to fix the sewage dumping crisis that they allowed to happen. It's really clear that we need to nationalise water companies. This has failed utterly. The point of this was always to fail us, the customers and the people of this country. The point of this system was to take as much money out for shareholders and the owners of these companies. Private equity companies all across the world have done so well out of this arrangement, as was the point. And let's not forget that England and Wales is basically unique in the world for having a fully privatised water and sewerage system. Other countries didn't do this. Scotland, correctly, stopped this from happening. And so we get into this insane situation where the government is trying to defend the principle of privatised water in the face of failure and giving us insane guidelines like delete your old emails. Now, I am doing my bit and deleting every email I get from my boss, especially about the content on social media. But the problem is not being caused by old emails. And if it was being caused by heavy consumption of data centers, by the way, the government should really think more about how much they're promoting an AI strategy that requires enormous amounts of data centers to be built in the UK. Obviously, they don't think this is a real problem, but they are scrounging for anything to say to us. We should own the water companies of this country, not just because privatized water has failed, although it obviously has, but because we should own our own water. It is an essential for life, and we should get to decide how it is used and where.